The other day, I decided to finally sign up for Amazon Student after spending a year in college, but I wanted to get free shipping and 2-day shipping for a book called Jesus is Greater Than Religion on audio because I don't actually read books, I listen to books. Anyhow, I was so excited to get in my car and listen to it while I was driving to work, but it turns out that an MP3 CD doesn't actually work in a CD player, so I will not be ordering that again. Also, I learned this week how to check for transmission fluid in a vehicle. This vehicle in particular was a Ford Windstar with 200,000 miles on it and a transmission leak. So, good thing there. I also learned that the button on the back of my phone, the volume button, works to take pictures. And I only learned this after I had 25 pictures of my bedroom wall. I also spent some time running, of course, this week, and I ran up Pine and Cedar Lake Trail, where I learned that the trail's hard. I got to the trailhead and it said 6.5 miles to Lost Lake, and I had run the trail to Lost Lake several times. And so I was like, okay, 6.5 miles there and back, perfect, 13-mile run, a little over 2 hours. So I started running, and I ran for half an hour uphill where people were hiking in the rain, and I wanted to quit, and I couldn't find Pine Lake itself, by the time I had finally decided that I only wanted to go to Pine Lake. So I finally got there about 37 minutes in, and then I ran back down, totaling 5 miles in a very long while. I also learned this week that this group that I attended last night, that so many people think are comfortable, the most comfortable people within our church because they've been in our congregation for decades, are not always as secure as we believe them to be. And I just learned that we all need to realize that we're on par with each other and we're all just as valuable in God's eyes, no matter how long you've been in a congregation or in a society or in a community. Each member brings something to the table, and we need to value each other and realize that each choice we make affects something else. I also have been listening to this podcast by Timothy Keller called the Gospel in Life series, and in this one certain sermon he was talking about how freedom comes from truth. And I'll just leave you with one quote to ponder. It says, "Freedom is not the absence of restriction, nor is freedom the presence of restriction. Rather, freedom can be defined as the presence of right restrictions."